Okay guys, let's try this again. I don't know if you can hear me better. I bought a little microphone. I think this was the cheapest one, so maybe you hear me worse than before, but let's go. I don't know what happened to my last video, but it was corrupted, so I could not so I uploaded it, but after 13 minutes you won't be able to see anything. I decided to take this one a little shorter. I will engage the subject a little more fastly. I will keep the broken one online, just so if someone wants to listen to that. And maybe I forgot to mention something, but in the next videos I will surely say it all. So let's go. Okay, let's start with this cloth. This cloth is very important. As you can see, it's very dirty, and this is a good thing, because when you start painting and you might stroke too strongly, or you can go out of the frame of the card, and if you have something like paper or cardboard underneath and you tilt the card, it may cause that paint going to the back of the card, and it will be a mess, since now you will have to clean it off, and maybe you'll ruin the card and it won't look good. So let's go with the next one. Lights. Well, I do consider lights one of the key ingredients in your altering, since the more the lighting is good, the best you can see the color, the best you can match the color. And you know, there are very different types of lights. There are warm light, cold light, and if the light is too warm, you might experience some color shifting, and you can mismatch a color, and when you look it in the light of the sun or to another light, it will look awful. So I use a 12 watt LED light, and it's let's see, 800 lumen, and if I don't remember, well, you'll now see the picture on the screen, so I let you read that. And yeah, light is very important. I do suggest you to paint or in the light of the sun or with a LED light, since the LED light is not generating as much heat as a fluorescent one, and your paint won't dry so fast. I used to use a 50 watt warm light, fluorescent light, and my paints were just evaporating in seconds. And so, well, that's it. Let's jump to the next section. Brushes. Well, brushes is always a hot question, as many of you ask me what kind of brushes do I use: fine point, round point, flat point, fun point, well, whatever. And the answer is pretty straightforward. And I do have these, but I only use this. This is the only one that I use, and I have maybe another one. Let's find it. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I have also these. These are situational, since, okay, let's see. This is one good all round. You see now a picture on the screen, so you see it pretty close up. And the other that maybe is fundamental is this. This is kind of good for splattering. You can see maybe on my channel the video I did about the soldering galaxy. Yeah, if I don't remember, I used this or this, These are very good for splattering. This was kind of good, but I treated it pretty badly, and so now it's kind of worthless. And I do use these to cover large areas, but since I do not use so much the gray base nowadays, I shifted to using only one or two brushes. These are all situational since they are very stiff and mistreated, and this I actually rubbed it on some sandpaper to thin it off, and I use this for maybe grass or tapping around for blending colors, but I still need to understand what to use it for. Well, there's not much else to say. I'll show maybe something in the next video about how to use these. And okay, let's go. Next one. Paints. Well, this is another hot topic. You guys ask me a lot what I use, and here it is. I use Game Workshop Citadel paints, those for miniature, very solid colors. And I do use a art store brand like Polycolor Mamieri, just for saying. I do find good with both of them, and I find these more liquid, more fluid, and these a little more creamy, so it's best to practice your water mixing. And one of the pro of these is that they have a good array of colors. The color shift is very, very low. If you put this on when you dry, it will be pretty much the same. And they have a powerful gray that is called Celestra Gray, and I use this a lot when I did my blocking colors, blocking borders. This is the best one for me. And one thing that I find very, very bad about this is that they have strange names, so you cannot mix colors based on the premix that you can find in the internet. So I took some of these since they have the name Burnt Amber, Ultramarine Blue, Titanium White. You can be sure that mixing these will be easier, and you can refer to some color wheel that have part and mixture already written on. And of these I recommend take Burnt Amber, Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Blue, if I don't remember, and the black. Since the black of Citadel paints is, I think, mostly disappointing, since I think it is a very, very dark gray, but not black. This is more shiner, it has a little gloss to it, and it's pretty solid. I will not do this time the color mixing, since it's not my real area expertise. I will put in the description box a link to another YouTube that has done a very good job. I learned much from him. Well, oh, another note, if you are new to this and you go to the art store and you see titanium white and zinc white, I don't have a zinc white. Let's say this is zinc white, and the difference is that if you mix titanium white, if you mix one part of titanium white with one part of black, you will obtain more or less 50% gray. If you mix one part zinc white and one part gray, black, you'll have an 80% gray, 80% black. So the titanium white, the zinc white is less pigment rich, and you can make color shift more subtle. If you don't want to change completely a color or going step by step with the zinc white, you will go fine. And I don't have one now, but I will definitely buy it, since most of the time it is a very little more white, but then I put too much and then I need to add some darkening, and that is a real pain, since it can mess it up something. If you see my recent video on the Zendikar plane, I think I'll put a link right there or whatever, and you see that I had so much trouble matching the color of the green, and I was so frustrated. I was about to rip the card. I know, I was about to rip the card, and that's basically because I have this green, this blue, and more or less this yellow, but I couldn't make because I don't have a phthalo blue, and that's because mixing phthalo blue with green, you obtain a very warm green, or a very rich green, and then with a little bit of yellow you can make something. Or I even saw using only cadmium yellow. This is not cadmium, obviously, and this is deep. I don't have a cadmium yellow. I will buy it. Cadmium yellow and black, and you'll obtain a very warm green. Since the black have a undershade, a blue undershade, you can obtain green with these two colors. And well, I don't have much to say anymore about these. I'll put the link down below so you can watch some pro mixing colors, that it's better than watching me. Well, let's jump to the other fundamental tool that I think is necessary. Okay, wet palette. Okay, the wet palette is simply a place where you put your paints while you paint, and I use this. You can buy a wet palette, but I prefer making one. And the one thing is, you need a airtight container like this, plastic container. Airtight because if you store your paint and you don't finish your work, you can close it and use it the day after. I've used that even a week after, and the paint were still moderately dry. And basically what you need to do to make a wet palette is this. You put a paper towel down. I'll do this in more deeply in the next video, so don't worry if things are rushed. Now I'm just trying to make you understand what it is. You take this, put a, let's see if I can pull it off. Okay, you tissue paper. Now use baking paper. I don't have baking paper here now, so I'll just use a piece of regular paper, but it's baking paper, not paper. You put the baking paper over, you just pour water, and you mix it. If there is too much water, you dip it off, and then you have your wet palette. The baking paper is waxed paper, so she will not destroy like normal paper does. It will not fiber away, but she'll let pass humidity, so your paint will stay dry and, well, watery, not dry. and this is it. I will show how I make my real wet palette in the next video, and I have different setup of wet palette, and I'll see if I can upgrade my wet palette. This is pretty small. I was thinking in taking something a little bigger and with lower walls, since this is pretty uncomfortable sometimes when I just need a dip. I can't put my hand, or when I'm painting. Oh, better clean it off. When I'm painting, it's pretty uncomfortable. Okay. After this, I have last tools, and that would be done. Okay, next lesson, guys. Last tools. Well, as last tools, I use tapes, toothpicks, erasers. Where's my eraser? Oh god, okay, it's here. Eraser and liners. Liner. Okay, let's go in order. Toothpick, pretty useful tool. You can scrub off your paint from your card. Take in mind that the sooner you take off the paint, the better, since after it dries, it's not bonded, so you can pick it off. You just dip the toothpick in the water so it's humid, and you scratch it away. Let's see. If you don't do this fast enough, you have something like this. Let's see if I have an old painted card. Okay, maybe there. Okay, I have this talisman. I wasn't really paying attention to what I did, and I let him dry too much, and you can see that I can take off the paint now. It's too much time passed and the paint is bonded, and I tried it and I ruined the card, and this is pretty much all the work. And I have something on the back too. And you need to do after you ended your work. 1 hour, 2 hours, doesn't matter, but if you let it dry overnight and bond overnight, you won't be able to clean it off perfectly. Okay, tapes. Tapes are pretty important. There are many uses for these, and these are simple transparent one. You need also the painter tape. I finished mine, so I don't have it. With it I can simply pin down the card with the painter one, not this. Pin down the card using the eraser, since this erases the ink on the card. I'll show you now if I can. Let's see. Okay, you'll see it's some hard work. It's very hard. Okay, you see that the paint goes off. This is why I have white card when I start my speed paints, because I spend an hour, maybe some time, cleaning off the card, and it produces some results. It's I do think that it's better cleaning off the original paint, since you erase the smoothness, and it's more rough underneath, and your paint will bond better. Of course, being white, it's always easier to paint it off. And that's it. And these are my liner. These are from Pigma. Oh, this one just sprouted. Okay, it's very hot here in Italy, so my ink pen are going literally crazy. Yeah, this one is also old, so okay, let's see if, okay, it writes something. Okay, time to change it. This worked better on Paint itself, and this I found it to the store next door. I don't think you can find this easily. I don't know, Pental pen, and it's more strong, and it bond better on the smooth card, as you can see. And that being said, guys, I think I have nothing more to say, nothing more to show. This is what I use. If I missed something, I will show you in the next videos. And well, remember to check my Facebook, my eBay page, my whatever page I posted underneath this video. Subscribe, like, and see you guys.